So here's the next window. Got it all cleaned out and put back together. Got the new pins glued in, and let this sit for a day or so. And the next one I'm working on is the arched top window. So I'll be putting that one together here pretty soon. And then Julie,
yeah.
She's still working on the mantle. And it looks really cool. See her hard at work. So she's done a really awesome job with that so far. Really impressed. So, yeah, nice job.
Thanks.
All right, and that's it so far, I guess, right? So I'm dry fitting the arched window, and it's pretty challenging because, of course, when wood ages, it shrinks and it does all sorts of goofy stuff, and it loses its moisture content and gets all dried out. And so when you take something like this apart, of course, it's quite a challenge to get back together just the right way. So gotta kind of dry fit it all. I put the wooden dowels in it to try to get it all lined up, and everything, it wasn't going so well at first, but then I put this bar clamp on here and squared it up, and it looks like everything is going to fall right back into place, which is a huge relief for me. So the arched window is put back together. It's all glued. We used a ratchet strap to hold it together. Used this interior-exterior tight bond glue. And so we'll let this sit overnight. Then tomorrow we can fill some of the holes that need filled in it. And also the bottom sash, it's glued and pinned and ready to go. It needs filled and sanded. So this one's well on its way. Take it and put back together. It's not a commercial for tight bond, but this stuff is excellent if you ever get a chance to use it. It is a little runny though, so you got to make sure you have a old rug like I do or something underneath if you're inside, because it goes everywhere. But when it dries, it sets well. I have no idea what she's laughing at now. The funny farm folks. All right, so we got the first coats of primer on here, or the final coat of primer, I should say. And we're getting ready to paint the outside color. Then I wanted to just say that we switched primers. We went from this to an oil-based primer. I was thinking that might be better for this old wood, and we were thinking it might be better because we have to use that same primer when we go to paint the glazing. So, because you need an oil-based primer to go over the glazing so the paint will stick. So that's where we're at. So everything was moving swimmingly well as far as putting the glass back in the window, and I went to test fit it and it cracked. So I've had to go out to the barn and get a couple pieces of antique replacement glass. Fortunately, we have an abundance of glass here, and it's old glass. If you can see, if I can do this without breaking it, you can see all the old waves and imperfections in it. So we're trying to match as much of the existing glass as we can, and my guess is this is a pretty old piece, so hopefully it will stand the test of time and stand me messing with it. Okay, I'm going to cut the other side of the glass the long way. So I've already made my measurement, which is about 13 and a half. And I'm going to set my square just a little bit smaller because I have to account for the way this thing is set up, so I can just run it across my square. It's about 1/16 of an inch or so. So I don't want to cut it too small, but I don't want to cut it too big either, because trimming small pieces of glass off kind of sucks. So I'm going to set that up right there. And I want to come out this way a little bit so I can put my clamp on the glass, kind of hold that steady. Come on, baby. Just kind of tighten that down a little bit. Make sure I'm square here. Good there. Take this bad boy right here. That is the sound of success. Hopefully, of course my square just moved. So we will see how that did. This is always the sketchy part. It's the scary part. Got a line through there. Line here. Now if there's a better way to do this, I haven't figured it out yet, but you just gotta kind of go with it, I guess. That's how it's done, folks. Kind of scary, but it works like a charm. Works like a charm. So I'll fit this piece of glass in there and see how bad I screwed up. Hopefully we did okay. We do it. That's how we cut the glass. Okay, we got the glass in there. That was probably the worst example of glass cutting I've ever done in my life. I had to nip a bunch off of it and off the bottom, which I didn't want to do, but guess that's how it goes sometimes. So I'll get the next piece of glass ready and cleaned up, and we're going to salvage it out of this little door here that we found in the barn. It was a match to the door that we got this glass out of. So here we go. Just an indication of how dirty this glass is. I bet it's been sitting in the barn for, I don't know, 20 or 30 years. But yeah, pretty grimy. Just prepping the old glass, getting all the old glazing and the paint off of it. And it's a chore, for sure. This dog has it made. Look at him. How's it going, Banjo? Hard life? Rough life. How you doing, darling? Frustrated? But it looks really good. I couldn't ask for a better paint job, love. I about sat on the dog.
You could ask for better paint?
Yeah, I could ask for better paint.
How hard can it be to find paint or something 6 times and still like, look at it?
Right.
Are you recording?
Yes. How's it? But it looks great though. Okay, got the top piece of glass glazed in, and I got to do the next two. Just cleaning up the fingerprints and all the leftover gunk from the glazing. So some of you might be wondering what the powder is, and this particular powder is just plaster of Paris. You hit with the paintbrush and all the fingerprints and the oily stuff from the glazing wipes right off. So there we go. So I wanted to quickly just discuss a little thing about glazing windows. So it's really important to lay down a bed of glazing before you stick the glass in, and then you use your glazing tacks to help hold the glass in, and then you go over it with your final glazing. But that bedding that you put down in the window helps with moisture, because with these old windows, oftentimes when it's cold outside, you'll see frost on the inside of the window, and that extra bedding helps protect your sashes and your wood down in here. Now I've gone and primed and painted inside there, and the reason that I've done that, you'll actually see a lot of window sashes and stuff that aren't painted in there, and the reason why I did it is because the old wood likes to soak up the oil from the linseed oil in the glazing. So you can either coat that with the linseed oil before you glaze, or you can prime and paint it, which is the route that I chose. So, but that's just kind of a brief breakdown of that whole process. But very important to lay that glass down in a bed of glazing. It helps protect the wood in the long run from the moisture when it condensates on the inside of the window as well. Okay, another window completed. We'll just wait a week or 2 weeks, maybe longer, for the glazing to get nice and set up before we put a oil-based primer on it and then hit it with our finish coat of paint. I can actually stick the window in and wait for that period of time, because it's not going to hurt it, but we still have the window frame to paint. So we got that one, and then the bottom window over there. So I'm pretty pleased how it turned out. Nice, beautiful, curvy, wavy glass. Just kind of neat. So, all right, have a good one. So I just got done sanding the woodwork around the window here. It was stained really, really dark, and we wanted to restore it back to the natural way it was finished before. So that took several evenings to sand that all off, and it's not quite done yet. There's some finish sanding that needs done, but I had to do all of that completely by hand, which was pretty tough, but we got it. And I'm going to finish sand that, and then we're going to put the paint on the inside of the window so it matches that one, and then we can put the windows back in because they're ready to go. And then we'll start on number 3.